Hey guys, I'm now Michela Mahango. Welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to switch it up a little bit. I'm going to answer frequently asked questions that my friends have asked me over time. And these are people that are not doing anything related to medicine whatsoever. So let's get right into it. The first question: do you check the internet or go back to your books when you're feeling unwell? I must say I'm very guilty of doing this because, first of all, I'd be dead worried. And second of all, I don't have time to go to the hospital immediately. So I'm just going to be like, okay, let me just Google something. But I must admit that it's not a good idea because I always give myself the worst diagnosis I can find. I'll have a simple headache, but I'm going to find myself thinking that I have a tumor because this headache has been there for 2 days. So, yeah. Second question: ever tried to diagnose friends or family? I have. I can't help it. Just imagine people having a conversation about things that are familiar to you. So they'll throw in symptoms or a drug that they got, and immediately your brain just takes you back to what you know and what you learned. So I really can't help it. Even in a pharmacy or a chemist, when someone just asks for a particular drug, my mind just goes straight to what is that drug used for? You know what I mean? So yeah. The next question: if medical school is crazy, what kept you motivated? Honestly, medical school is not cheap, so the school fees. But also having conversations with my mom about it. There were a lot of times where it was really, really difficult for me to get by, but I had conversations with my mom, and somehow I just, kind of got back on track. Yeah, it was really helpful. Next question: did you ever feel like quitting? Yeah, a lot, especially in my fourth year. Fourth year was horrible. I feel like for most of the people who were in my class, if you ask them which was your worst year, it was their fourth year. The exam was insane. It was crazy. So I did feel like quitting actually more than once. I feel like it was the whole year I was just trying to get by. So yeah. Next question: what was your reaction when you first entered a dissecting room? Okay, listen. Up to this point, I don't think I had ever entered a mortuary or been in a room full of cadavers. I had never experienced that. So I entered this dissecting room and I just freak out. But at the same time, I'm one of those people that do not want to show people that I'm freaking out or I'm scared. So I stood still, hoping I don't collapse, hoping I just, ease into it. It was really difficult. And I think the first night after that, I think I must have slept with my light on. But yeah, it was not. Ugh, I didn't like the first day. Next question: what would you like to specialize in? So, this is very difficult, and I feel like after I do my internship and go through all departments again, I'll be able to decide. But I love psychiatry. I maybe it's because of my experience with mental health, or I don't know. I love psychiatry. All through medical school, my favorite course had been psychiatry. So yeah, that's my first choice. My second choice is pediatrics, and then internal medicine. I would never think of obstetrics and gynecology or surgery. I not my piece of cake. So yeah. What was your worst department as a student? I think I just answered it. Obstetrics and gynecology. I I don't know. It's just I feel like there's so much pain going on. There's just too much pain. So I can't deal with that. Babies are cute. Psychiatry is interesting. Obs and gyne is painful. So nah. Next question: is it annoying when people ask you for medical advice? Not really. It's not annoying actually. And I feel like people respect you enough to ask you. And what I try to do is that when I am not sure about something, I either consult a senior or I I just refer them to someone else. Or I ask them to go to the hospital. Most of the time, actually, all the time, if someone is asking me for advice, because a lot of the times people have symptoms and they just feel like, oh, can I take this drug, because they've heard that, okay, this drug can work for this. But I try to ask people to go to the hospital all the time, because it's not advisable to just go into a pharmacy or chemist and get drugs and just take them. So I try my best to advise people to go to the hospital, but it's really not annoying. I mean, we're called to help people, so I have no choice. Next question. What was the hardest part of medical school? Honestly, it's staying on track. There's so much that's required of you. There's so much time that school needs. So staying on track, trying to have a schedule, and you have so much to study is difficult. And also think about, you need to have a social life because you need it. I know a lot of us say that we don't need a social life in medical school, but I don't know how else you'll survive. You need some kind of social life, otherwise that's going to be hard. So yeah, it's really trying to stay on track with schoolwork and stuff, and staying motivated. Staying motivated is really, really hard, especially in my 4th year. It was so difficult to stay motivated. There were times when I would have so much on my plate, I would just weep, really. So staying motivated is not easy as well. The next question: what don't you miss the most about being a student? The panic before I write an exam. I don't miss that at all. I don't miss having to deal with imposter syndrome. It's just the worst. Every medical student goes through that. So I don't miss that. And random questions on the word, because what would happen is this: you have so many things to study, and you did not study this topic. And from nowhere, your consultant is just going to ask you something random, something that you just feel like, how am I supposed to make the connection here? I do not miss that at all. Being a student is rough, guys. Being a medical student is rough. The next question: do you have a social life? Yes, you do. I mean, it's all about planning and trying to have a schedule, which I already mentioned is not easy. It's quite difficult, but I mean, you need to have one. You can't, I don't think you can get by in medical school without a social life. You need some kind of social life, which obviously it will look different from other people. You will not be able to hang out with people every single time, but you need to have some kind of social life. I don't know how people do it without one, if people do manage, but I think you need to have some kind of social life. Yeah. The last question: do you have time to date in medical school? Yeah, you do. You actually do. When I look back, I do feel like particular years, like my 4th year, 1st year to 4th year, I really think I shouldn't have been dating at all, but I did, and it kind of did cost me, because I failed to plan, and dating consumed my life at some point, and yeah, didn't go so well. But I think it's very possible, especially for people that are very good at planning and dividing their work, knowing when to study, when you're supposed to be in class, and when you can spend time with, the person that you love. So I think it's very possible. Not I think, it is actually very possible. We just need to plan better. So yeah, these are the questions that are frequently asked about medical school, and there's actually more, but I just don't want to go and make this video a 30-minute video. So thank you very much for listening. Do not forget to like, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. See you next time.